Southwest hot mustard that we got. We got ourselves a quasi-healthy dinner. Oh, come on. I promise it's a real dollar. Zero bags, of course. Because we only have one item. We did get a bunch of the garbage up there where the panhandlers panhandle. We got most of it picked up anyway. Some? Great. Alright. And of course, back out to the car. I always like looking at these over here. You know what these are. You guys have seen these. These ones are actually my favorites right now. It's kind of like Legos, but kind of not. And I got a few of them in my car. They help me to, well, I play with them when I need to get my mind off of how much life sucks sometimes. The first time I ever saw Michael Scott Wade, he was actually at one of these machines. He worked at a place called Tilt, which was an arcade in the 1980s in the Twin Peaks Mall in Longmont, Colorado. He later became my stepdad. He married my mom. Other than that, he's a pretty smart guy. Anyway, with 8% charge, this probably ain't gonna last long, so it's a good thing that I'm on the way to my vehicle. I don't know if parking up there at the park and ride is necessarily a safe place to go, but I don't exactly have a safer place to go. On the bright side, I was able to scrounge up enough to get some rolling papers earlier, so as long as I find tobaccos like this, I can roll them into a cigarette. I hope Dean's alright. I've made a lot of videos today because I'm afraid of what'll happen if I don't. I think I'm gonna possibly just relocate my vehicle a little bit and maybe try panhandling again. It's cool enough. I should be able to start my car up a little bit. We're below a quarter of a tank, but there's enough there to get us a little bit. It'll be enough to get us to the park and ride and probably back. I mean, this thing, even as shitty as gas prices are, this thing is still good on gas. So, the idling is actually what ends up eating it all up. Let's see. What are we going to pour this shit into? Because I personally don't feel like just pouring that stinky smoked oyster crap on the floor of my vehicle. That would not be pleasant. So we're gonna doctor up the can. Make it open enough on top that we can pour the gooey nastiness inside of it. Just got to use the file part of our fingernail file to get it a little bit started. And then we can use the strength of the bulk of the metal to actually push that open. Try to do it without cutting ourselves. As long as we open it enough to pour the nasty juice inside, we're good to go. Necessity is the mother of invention, right? Alright. So we got ourselves a big old hole in the top of our can. We'll take our Pacific Pearl fancy smoked oysters here. Give you guys a play-by-play for unimportant shit that nobody fucking cares about. Hey, that's what it sounded like in the bathroom. Right. Come on. Right. Now where's our Southwest hot mustard? That's right here. Absolutely, positively. Apparently I'm at a slight angle because it won't hold on there like it normally would. And although I primarily use the garbage bag over here for other people's garbage, my personal belief is that it shouldn't have to be just for other people's nastiness. It's not my fault that they're nasty and I'm being kind enough to pick up their trash. I can be kind enough to myself to be able to throw away a few items. Also, so as y'all know that I'm cleaning up there at the parking lot up there, I will likely have this thing running while I'm picking up the trash, if we get up there fast enough, of course. Let's try to get this all plugged in before it runs out of charge. And let's see, the external battery one here, we'll put it in as well. All right. Start the damn thing, right? Well, no wonder it almost didn't start. My dumb ass left the lights on. Some days I'm about as bright as a box of rocks in the shade with the lid closed, huh? Better than a few days ago when I tried driving to the well, I guess it was 3 weeks ago or so. I tried to drive to the hospital with the emergency brake on. Boy, oh boy, did I feel smart. Now, where did I put my camp spoon? That is kind of an essential, isn't it? Anyway, this is what dinner looks like. Southwest hot mustard and smoked oysters. I kind of wish the Southwest hot mustard was a little hotter. It's strange because sometimes these are a whole bunch of little oysters like this can, and sometimes it's a few big ones. Alright. Now let's, of course, check the top of the thing. Make sure I didn't leave anything up there. Alright, we got a sharp piece of metal from off the road. And of course, some tobaccos for me to roll into a cigarette in a little bit. We're good to go. I'm also going to tell you a big secret. When you have no teeth, it's great that you don't get stuff stuck between your teeth, but it still gets stuck along the gum line. Takes a few minutes to lick it clean. Oh, yeah, that was bright, wasn't it? I completely forgot to take off my parking brake again. Jesus, there's too much crap here. Way too much. 420 blunt smoke joint type U home. Yes, this is my home. Alright. Trying to put this somewhere where it'll still record, but ain't gonna fall over. It's gonna fall over no matter where I put it. Screw it. This vehicle is so falling apart. Of course, I don't need the sun visor anymore now the sun is down, which is good because a tiny vehicle does not have an incredible field of vision. Then we might, after smoking a tobacco, we might try to panhandle up some gas. Made enough to get something for dinner, of course. It was a good dinner. I rather enjoyed it. Got my apple juice, of course. I rather enjoy that too. For those of you that don't know, my name is Sean Schwartz. I have ADHD and Tourette syndrome and autism. I created this channel after my friend Natalie Bollinger was killed. She had a lot of pressure in her life and a lot of real evil people in her life. She was my best friend and she deserved a better family than what she got. She deserved better friends than what she got. She deserved a better life than what she got. But there was a situation with her family where they pushed her to the point that she wanted her life to end. They didn't want her to be friends with me. They really just didn't want her to be happy. Either she does what they want when they want her to, or they pull the mentally ill bullshit on her, just like they do with me. As a female, she doesn't have to go through as much of it. As a dead person, she doesn't have to deal with any of it. Her father will never keep her ever again. The rest of her family, on the other hand, they do need to worry. They're not lucky enough to be dead. And that's what it takes to get away from Ted. Ted Bollinger is one of the nastiest human beings. I mean, really, how sick do you have to be to do things like that to your own daughter? As long as there's a little bit of light out, I suppose we can try the panhandling thing. Flying a sign. Definitely didn't make enough for that $1 million mansion, did I? Not today, anyway. Didn't make enough to get a convertible either. Not today, anyway. But the night is young, right? So what do you say? Go out there and make another effort? Attempt to make enough money for breakfast in the morning? I've looked up a few of the campsites here that are free. None of them are open yet. A couple of them, I guess, they might not be opening because homeless people will go stay there. They're also way far up the mountain, and my gas is not going to get me there. Obviously, my vehicle is having difficulties with shifting when I'm going uphill. It's having problems with power when I'm going uphill. The way it was explained to me, and mind you, I said the same thing about my ignition switch, I said the same thing about my battery, I said the same thing about pretty much everything that has gone wrong with my vehicle. I'm not a mechanic. So if you tell me something about it, I have to take your word for it, and of course I got to take it with a grain of salt. But I guess there's a series of rollers and plates that push against each other and mesh against each other. And they're supposedly worn down. And I'm supposed to check my transmission fluid to see, how much sparkly stuff is in it, how much glitter, basically. I don't see any glitter in it. So, I don't know, maybe it just hasn't gone through. The guy said there's a series of channels and tunnels and stuff in there, and I've seen the inside of them. I get the basic idea or the basic concept. I know basically what it looks like on the inside of a stick shift and the difference between it and an automatic. But I was pretty sure that all those fluid channels, for the most part, that was primarily an automatic feature. So we'll have to check on it. He said if they're worn down, that it takes a while for the fluid to actually go through all of the channels, so it might not be showing the glitter immediately. I'm only saying glitter because it's metal flakes from the inside of your transmission. It's from two pieces of metal that are getting a little bit too abrasive. And that probably has to do a lot with the way that I drive. I'm not the best driver. I have driven through town on my way to the hospital with, of course, my parking brake on. I'm sure that didn't do anything good for my vehicle. I bought this thing from Wendell McPhee for $750, and I've gotten $750 worth of use out of it. Wendell McPhee did not, intentionally sell me a lemon. It wasn't a lemon when he sold it to me. Matter of fact, he leased it to me for free for like 4 months before he sold it to me. He wanted to make absolutely sure that he wasn't selling me a lemon. He wanted to make absolutely sure that I was happy with the vehicle, and I absolutely am. I am eternally grateful for that man and what he has done to get me on the road, to get me safely out of Chapel. Wendell McPhee is one of the few people who truly grasped the dangerous possibilities and the probability of more harm coming to me if I stayed in Chapel. He did provide me with several options that fell through at the last minute, so it's not like he didn't make any effort. Like a lot of people, he did make effort, just not in the right direction. Instead of telling me about the situation with Sandy Fromm, and instead of telling me about the situation with Scott DaCosta and the deputies, he should have made the calls with me to make sure those things were turned in, especially knowing how dangerous, especially with the margaritas in her system, that Sandy Fromm could be. Now, with me not being able to go to Starbucks for safety issues, and that's difficult to explain to the people there, that if I am there, that creates the potential for them to get messed with. Especially since I'm speaking out about the cops. Getting those people involved in any of this situation would just make their lives worse. Make things more complicated for them. And you know what? They work at Starbucks. It's not like they're earning $150,000 a year. It's not like they can afford to take the day off to do something like that. Also, with the way that most of the people who have helped me have been targeted, I don't feel comfortable doing that to those people. If they want to volunteer, I'll let them know straight up what's been going on. I've been clear with them about what's going on already, as well as I can. We got a little bit of charge on the phone here, and we got 4% charge on our external batteries, so we got enough to go out there and try panhandling again. And of course, making sure that we're at least reasonably or decently safe by making sure that it's recorded. Sorry about that, it disconnected. I don't anticipate anybody trying to mize me or spit at me out the window or yell the profanity at me or throw beer bottles at me or anything like I got to deal with in racist redneck in Chapel, Nebraska. But just for the sake of argument and the sake of safety, you never know. We're going to park the car there. We already picked up all the garbage up there, so the garbage is gone. The area is a bit cleaned up more. Just like the marina, we cleaned that up a bit today. And of course, when we get back up to the parking ride, we'll clean that up too, depending on how dark it is. Obviously, I have not yet been able to dig out my giant Sharpie so that I can make a sign that's legible. People can't really tell that it says gas all that well. But we're going to try it. Again, I made the mistake of not turning it to landscape view. So we will turn it off and we'll start a landscape view.